Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. You would think this would be the last one. This was probably the original intentions. They're going to do the Final Frontier. They're finally there, right? By the title. Well, anyways, this one, kind of a dud. People seem to know that. It's probably not as bad as people will say. It has moments here and there. The concept sounds okay. So they're going to try to find heaven or God or Eden or what have you. It sounds like something that would be a good mission for a Star Trek movie. It's just not quite handled right. Well, among other things. This one's directed by William Shatner. That'd be now Captain Kirk, who was Admiral Kirk, before that Captain and all that. Anyways, we're starting out, we got this guy in the sand planet, Nimbus 3, I think they said. He's being approached by a dude on a horse. Dude on the horse says, "Hey, don't shoot me. You have some pain. Here, share your pain with me." And the guy's like, "I feel so relieved. How can I repay you? Join my cause. Join my army of the light," or what have you. "Oh, by the way, I'm a Vulcan." Hilarious. Everybody starts laughing. No, not hilarious. Just ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. You know, like Dr. Evil. And we go to Yosemite, where we have Captain Kirk, who is now an expert climber. Doesn't use any kind of safety catches, rope, nothing. He's just climbing freestyle, pre-X Games shit. And while he's climbing, he gets spooked by Spock, who has some jet shoes. He flies up there, and he's like, "Hey, you shouldn't be climbing this rock. You know, why'd you do that?" "Oh, because it's here," what have you. "It's kind of dangerous." He slips, falls. Spock, and the effect doesn't look good at all. Inverts, dives down, catches him, and Bones is watching this, talking to himself. Little lampshade hanging. "Oh, it's driving me so nuts, I'm gonna start talking to myself." And here I am. They're having a little picnic. It's shore leave, right? But they get called to the Enterprise because there's conflict. You see, the horse guy, Vulcan, Sybok, he led this group to this outpost where there are Romulan, Klingon, and Federation representatives on this forbidden zone planet, Nimbus 3, where there's no weapons allowed. By the way, the Romulan chick is fine. You never see a fine Romulan chick like this. But she was like, "Hey, I'm fine, and I'm quite optimistic to be here." And it's like, thank you. The white guy there, his name was St. John Smythe or something. Wasn't he the guy who made the secret ooze in Turtles 2? He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have this later." So they're kind of hanging out later in the movie. Well, they get captured. They're held prisoner, and the guy's like, "Hey, I know that your alliances are going to do what they can to save you. I'm counting on it. I need a starship. You're being exchanged for that." Well, the Enterprise gets sent in to go deal with this, and here's the problem with the comedy in this one. It's all slapstick pertaining to the ship's broken. It's a new ship. It has a lot of quirks. It's like everything doesn't work. What the hell? Oh, but we're going out on a mission. So we have to distract these guys while we try to rescue the place, right? What do? Oh, it's a good thing Uhura's there to strip down, and she carries her feather fans with her on the away mission, right? I'm sure they packed those. Because it's not till later where they're like, "Hey, there's horses over there. We gotta get in this little outpost before we get to the bigger outpost. We need a distraction." Not, okay, good thing we planned for this, right? So she does some naked dance stuff, sings and chants the guys. They draw phasers on them, take their horses, and then they're like, "Okay, we're being chased by some dudes back there," but really they're the dudes, right? And they're shooting it out. They have a little bit of an action scene. Maybe some guys getting shot. Rheumatoid Gatling gun, shoot some stuff. Jesus Christ. Spooked me a bit. So, that kind of thing's happening. And we have Kirk go in, he fights some cat stripper with 3 boobs. Knocks her in some water, seems to instantly kill her. That much doesn't make sense. They get to the hostages and they turn the guns on him and say, nope, now you're our hostages. And you gotta listen to this guy, Sybok. He speaks the truth. So in his Vulcan mind meld with his feelings and stuff, he's able to like penetrate people's dark fears and have them live up to them and things, whatever. Low points in their life they overcome. And that convinces them to join his cause. So he's kind of gotten to everybody but McCoy, Spock, and Kirk. So anyways, they plan to get back to the Enterprise, but there is a Vulcan ship that is ready to do some damage to them. He wants to take out the Enterprise because that's Kirk's ship. This will make him the hero of the Klingon Empire. So he's going to attack, and they're kind of lying and waiting. Well, as the shuttle heads back to the Enterprise because they can't use their transporters, they get attacked, and they make an emergency landing inside with the Galileo craft into the bay. They get aboard the ship, but Sybok is able to keep the guns on him. It's revealed why Spock didn't shoot him when he had a chance, and it's because he can't shoot his brother. And McCoy's like, oh, come on, Kirk, you can't get upset at him about that, Jim, right? Yeah. So that sort of thing happens. And they're secluded in some brig that has been designed by a Vulcan. A Vulcan tested it to escape and couldn't. And you're led to believe that might be Spock. But they do get out because they get some help from Scotty. Oh, but Scotty's here for some hijinks. He has a weird relationship with Uhura, and he bumps his head, and then they have a hand make-out sesh in sickbay and whatever. That kind of crap happens too. Well, while they're escaping, it's also weird that all of a sudden Spock has his booster shoes. It seemed like he didn't have those on him. I could be mistaken, but they're just suddenly there. They head up to Kirk's room, I think, and they're talking this out. Sybok shows up. He revisits McCoy's past, his dying father. He takes his father off life support, but it's revealed that, hey, shortly after they find a cure for his disease, he could have saved him, but maybe not, so don't feel regret. And now McCoy's kind of on his side. Spock witnesses his birth, and this is supposed to move Spock, but he didn't really feel like going along with Sybok yet. Kirk won't share his pain, so he's going to be stuck in his quarters. Well, they say, well, here's the plan. We're taking the Enterprise beyond the Great Barrier at the center of the galaxy where no ship's gone before. Oh, well, no ship can survive that field. Oh, but we're going to try it anyways, because we believe that's where Eden is. Why don't they say heaven? That's where God is, essentially. So, the crew's on board with this, and eventually Kirk's like, okay, fine. I'll go along, we'll make sure that the ship gets there. They're being pursued by the kind of low-key in the background. You can see on the monitor, no one's paying attention to, that the ship that fired at them earlier is in pursuit. So it follows him to beyond the Great Barrier. This guy is really occupied with taking out Kirk. Like he almost met him before. But he hasn't. This isn't Khan. So they head into the center. They walk around on some rock. You know, they're all enamored for a bit. At least this is cut down compared to the awe sequences. Oh wow, reaction shots of Star Trek the Motion Picture. They land on the rock, walk around a bit, say they don't find anything, and all of a sudden there's like a quake. Formation of like rib cage columns appear as Sybok, McCoy, Spock, Kirk are down there, and this entity appears in this glowing field, and it's like, I have many names for one identity here. Is this a face you recognize? I'm God. And they're like, yes. So I need your starship to spread my message through the universe. Excuse me, God, says Kirk. What does God need of a starship? And he's like, who are you? Well, don't you know who I am? You are God. You know, there's this idea that if God's all-knowing, omniscient, everywhere at all times, yeah, he would know him, but what if God is just the guy who put the pieces on the table, and the pieces started multiplying and he couldn't keep up with them? Food for thought. Anyway, so he's like, hey, I'm actually a prisoner here, I'm spilling the beans, I've been trapped in this planet, you're gonna get me out of here or die. He starts blasting with laser eyes, and they're like, no, actually McCoy, Spock and Kirk are getting hit with lasers, and it's like, you want to betray me too? He's like, I can't believe in any god that would punish for fun like this. And Sybok's like, I made a mistake, you guys leave, get to the shuttle, I'll take care of this. He's like, hey, I notice you're in pain. Mind melds, what have you, like kind of wrestles with him a bit, buys them some time. The planet's kind of getting lit up. The rest of them run away quite fast. They covered a shitload of ground in no time for a bunch of old guys. And they're actually younger than they look. I mean, everybody looks about 80, 70 or 80, but they're actually like 50. It's like, Jesus. So anyhow, my rig's kind of cutting into my dick region. It's kind of uncomfortable. This is the pain I suffer for you guys. So, yeah, Sybok's going to get blown up. There's the Klingon ship. Spock gets aboard the Klingon ship. They're able to... How did this even go down exactly? I'm failing to remember this. Spock's aboard the Klingon ship. They took some orders from General Cord, who was the Klingon guy in charge, the delegate at Nimbus 3. And he's like, okay, you let him aboard. We gotta take this thing out. I'm your superior officer. I guess this all happened in the background. I suppose it works out. They blast the god creature thing as he's about to go after Kirk. And he's like, I was all alone over there. Oh, no, you weren't alone. Introduce you to our gunner, it's Spock. So he killed the thing that was also with his brother and all this stuff, you know, wrapping things up for Spock here. Oh, I forgot to mention that at the end of the last movie, he says, tell his mom that he's fine or whatever. You know, the question is asked to him. I guess he says it to his dad, who is the ambassador over at the hearing. Anyway, back to Star Trek V. Everybody's kind of like getting together for this beer drinking thing. There's like this real tough Klingon chick, Chekhov and Sulu are checking out. She walks over to the big Klingon dude, and they're like, okay, we're going to walk over here now. St. John Smythe, what have he's hanging out with that Dar lady, the hot Romulan. Everybody's having a good old time. And then shore leave resumes. Kirk, McCoy, Spock, back at Yosemite. They're going to finish their campfire moment that they were having when they were interrupted. Singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. It looks like they try to get McCoy in on it, but he doesn't really join in. Doesn't sound like it, doesn't look like it. And that's the end of your movie. Now look, this one tried to ask some big questions. I heard a weird sound. So, this one tried to ask some big questions. It sounds like a good concept, but it really doesn't deliver. There's not really enough going on here to really keep your interest. I'm kind of surprised I was able to talk about it for this long. I'm going to not go over there. This one, yeah, kind of a dud. One of the worst in the group, at least until Abrams screws shit up. I give Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, 2 out of 4 stars. I have previously reviewed 6, so the next review is Star Trek Generations, Bridging the Gap between original series and next gen.